Good morning. Couple small cap runners today so far. NBY. Really interesting one. Ran back here on the 20th. Held up this higher low base. Now it's running off of that. Can it continue? That is the question. They do have some news. Let's see here. Special dividend declaration. The board declared a one-time special cash dividend of 80 cents per share. Let's see what my financial advisor thinks about this. All right. So it's running on that news. I don't know if that's good news. How sustaining is that gonna be? Probably this is just gonna come right back down. We'll see. Good morning, good morning. All right, the next one, a ZTR. A couple of these are just spiking straight up. We're sort of avoiding most of these. First patient dosed in phase 1/2 trial. So, all right, biotech trial news. AZTR. Let me get through these really quick. NBY, throw this on the watch too. All right, devs already down. This is really interesting. Super early morning shorting action. Looks like NBY is going to go higher. PTNM. Nice looking double top. Fake out, potentially. Probably done. I don't know. I expect this one to fade back to nothing. This one is looks like a China pump and dump. Does look like a Chinese pump and dump. Classic boiler room type walk up into the dump. Can it bounce? Probably not. All right, that's pretty much it for small caps right now. Might get some more as things heat up. Something interesting with PayPal. PayPal dipping here because of some bad news. Let's see, we got SKBL. Let me take a look at this one. Okay, kind of a sketchy one. Another one. Looks like a liquidation play back here on the 7th. We'll see what that one does. Yeah, a lot of these Chinese scams. At least that's what they look like, but I'm not digging into them that much. PayPal. So PayPal, yeah, they're dropping on this news from Germany. German banks were blocking payments due to technical issues, citing failure with security systems designed to weed out fraudulent payments. So the question is this a buying opportunity? How bad is this actually? A lot of times these dips are just opportunities to buy in. So PayPal's holding this big bear flag right here. Get rid of some lines. So that's a little bit interesting. PayPal's been struggling though. They haven't been able to bounce out of this range like a lot of other stocks have. I still think this is eventually going to bounce. But the bigger picture here is 2.5, 3 years or so of consolidation in this range between $90 and $50. So it's just in the middle of all that. I do think eventually this gets going again. It looked like it was on the verge of a breakout here of this bear flag right before that news hit. So not really sure how big of a deal this is. Or if it's just going to go right back up today. So my assistant likes NBY. Expect a reversion to 50 cents to 70 cents on NBY. My advisor thinks it's coming right back down. That's funny. But we don't know how it's going to get back down there. Hopefully that's all it has right there. That double top fake out into straight down would be nice. Ah, dang it. This other one is trash. How are they pumping this thing? They did drop some news. $17 million securities purchase agreement. Warrants at 73 cents. Private placement. Yeah, that was kind of trash. So it's running on offering news. Kind of silly. All right, let's see. Yeah, so PayPal, I'm wondering if this thing is going to be a nice buy today or not. It My favorite setup is if it breaks this bottom trend line and then reclaims back up. So that would be nice. We got to get it before Trump pumps it. We've already got Trump pumping Cracker Barrel, which I was going to buy that because they changed the logo. They've kind of changed the design of it, the interior, and all that, and people don't like it. And there was some pullback on the stock because of all that. And apparently, Trump has already mentioned it and kind of pumped it. So, Cracker Barrel. Here we go. So, we had a nice dip going, and I was going to load this dip. It's still kind of okay. But maybe they're reverting this design decision. Trump is on it. He's pumping everything. It's pretty crazy. So let's see. It closed at 57.80. It's at 60 right now. So hopefully we get the gap fill, maybe for the dip buy, and then maybe breakout pullback kind of action. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Cracker Barrel is down a lot. I don't know. It's an interesting idea. It seems like a lot of these stocks that are down right now are probably going to get some momentum as the money rotates into these oversold stocks out of these AI stocks that are super pumped up right now. That's the theory. Cracker Barrel back down to, what is this, 2012 levels. Pretty crazy. And we're seeing a lot of stocks like this. They're just down. Now, is it possible that these stocks were just overvalued for all these years? What has fundamentally changed here? Maybe they're coming back to where they should be. Definitely interesting. And we've seen a lot of these have a year or two to base and find the lows and then kind of hang out in that area. So this is maybe the first time we've seen some double bottoming action. Of course, it's always hard to tell in real time, for sure. Let's see, Cracker Barrel's been down since COVID. COVID crash, bounced back up, and then it's just been fading since. Yeah, before COVID, it was up really, really nicely. All through 16, 17, 18, 19, right at the highs. Wow, and this one started running right after the 2008 crash. So 2008 crash, and then it was just straight up into 2015, and then kind of sideways. But we did dip back down to the 2012 levels, 2010 even. Kind of wild. But I do think these stocks are getting pretty low. And I bet a lot of these are going to be great investments. Kind of like the 2023 dip on the tech stocks. Of course, the tech stocks had a nice catalyst. Let me do Meta. So yeah, 2023, where are we at? Right over here, 2022. So 2022, big pullback on all these tech stocks. Look at the weekly chart. I mean, insane. Absolutely insane. So these had a huge run up in 2021 and then ridiculous pullback in 2022. I mean, we're talking about 75% dip off the top in 2022, which put it back to, I don't know, 2016, 2015 levels. And that's where the opportunities are when you have dips. Got to buy the dip. 60, 70% dip off the top is opportunity. And then now this thing's crazy. It's up 500% from those lows. 600%. Pretty ridiculous. So the big question is are things like Lulu going to do the same thing eventually? Because Lulu is currently right in that ballpark that Meta was in. 63% dip off the top. Same thing with Cracker Barrel. %80 dip off the top to the low on a Cracker Barrel. So that's the question. Is the money going to rotate back into these stocks? I think there's a decent chance it will, especially if they turn the money printer back on. Do they even sell crackers? I imagine they do. I mean, they tried to take the cracker and the barrel out of Cracker Barrel. Just doesn't seem right. All right, let's see what we do with NBY here at the open. Might buy some PayPal today. PayPal. There's a big gap to fill over here on PayPal. Back up to $78. That needs to be filled. Yeah, I'm going to start taking some PayPal. Let's see. I'll average into it. Tesla at 352. Super, super nice. Baba kind of getting crushed a little bit. What's going on here? This one had a crazy gap up too, back a couple days ago. Yeah, Baba gapping down. Let's see. They do have earnings coming up. Maybe that's why. Let's check the earnings on Baba. The 29th. So in 2 days, in pre-market. So maybe a dip into earnings. Maybe that's what it is. Trump is about to make some kind of deal with China. He's been talking about that. This thing has continued to put in higher lows so far. So far. Again, Baba's kind of down on the bigger picture. It has held up this bounce off the low kind of nicely. Really hoping this gives a bigger pullback. May not happen though. I don't like to buy into earnings either, so that's another thing to consider. All right, looks like we're okay on NBY. For now. Wow. Getting some squeezers out there. Look at that. PSNYW. Polestar Automotive. Oh, this is the warrants. What is the actual stock doing? Nothing. Huh. So why are the warrants going nuts? That's pretty crazy. Can I short the warrants? I've never tried that before. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing real quick. Kind of threatening to break down. Is BlackRock going to push it to 150? That's the question. I don't know. Looking kind of toppy right now. Pretty toppy looking. But still holding up this 100 moving average, which was the key back here. Crypto is one of those things that I don't even know if it's valuable. Is it actually worth anything? It's just another store of value. You can't print more of it. But the whole thing in the beginning was it's anonymous. You can transact anonymously, and people thought you could, but you actually can't. So that was one of the big things in the beginning, which isn't actually true. So now it's just a digital currency, which you can't print more of it, which is good. There's transaction fees. And it's not really adopted yet as a form of, making payments. So you can't really use it to make payments. You can in some places, but very sparsely. Doesn't seem like the government would like it because they can't print more of it. So why would you replace your currency with something you can't control. I don't know. A lot of pump and dumps today. AZTR. What is this thing? Another biotech. A lot of biotechs. I would short devs, but I can't get shares. Looks like a good short to me. Regains compliance with NASDAQ minimum bid requirement. So they survived getting delisted. For now. Okay, PayPal bouncing back nicely. Take a peep at that. Yeah, look at that news. So the news from Germany dropped it overnight, and it's shooting right back up because it wants to fill the gap. So it wants to fill the gap, at least short term. Long term, it really needs to hold some kind of higher lows. And then make its way back to 78 bucks a share and fill this gap right here. It's going to happen eventually. Let's not forget about Intel. Trump is pumping Intel like mad. Really hoping for a dip on this, but might not get it. The government is long at $20 a share. I'll start buying a little bit. It's holding a nice flag right here, so there's a chance that this flag can eventually break out. I'll give that a try. What else do we got? Oh yeah, Roblox is probably a swing short. Probably a swing short. They are taking some heat right now from the slop tubers, making all kinds of content about the allegations, which could actually cause some trouble for Roblox. Also, let's be honest, this thing looks like it's topped out. Faked out the all-time high. Cracked back into that 50 moving average for the first time in a while. Bounced off of it. Sort of looking like a breakdown pullback action. I am going to try it. Starting a position now. Give that some time to play out. I want to see it break under that 50 and just kind of fade for a bit. I would be shorting devs if I could. It's okay. Can't get them all. Can't get them all. Let's see. What else? NBY looking good. Ooh, INHD. Runner from the other day. It's going again. Got to keep those recent runners on watch. PayPal. The gap is being filled. Hoping Baba can come down some more into earnings. And I think I'll try an earnings play on it if it does the setup. I want to see it come down into earnings. But right before earnings. Because I want to buy low and I want to sell high. That's the trick. Like Etsy, what's Etsy doing here? Again, another one of these stocks that's based for 2 years. They've had earnings. They had some bad news from Trump, but Trump's going to pump it right back up, I bet. Kind of interesting because it's been holding under these moving averages for so long, and just recently it's able to pop over them, sort of a breakout pullback into the moving averages, and those moving averages are pretty tight. They're getting pretty tight. When they get tight, that's where things happen. Kind of like Etsy. I do have a swing on it. All this other stuff is just so overvalued. PLTR. Ridiculous. No one even knows what they do. NVIDIA NVIDIA is the best one because it's all these AI companies are dependent on NVIDIA. Nice reclaim of this 20 moving average on the daily. So we'll see if this turns into double top. We have a pretty big trend break right there. Little sketchy. Little sketchy looking. Apple looking okay. Microsoft looks a little sketchy too. Let's see. Yeah. Again, another one of these stocks breaking a trend line, pretty big trend line. And it's just unwinding so far. No bounce on Microsoft yet. This is how the tops can happen. Bubbles can pop. Seems kind of bubbly to me. But it's tagging that 50 moving average for the first time. We'll see how it reacts. It should get a bounce around there, and then we'll know. We'll have a much better idea of what's going to happen next. Like back over here, this when the market topped back here, we had to pull back to that 50 and some bouncing action. Even right here, pulls under it a little bit, reclaim, right back up. No idea why Duolingo was up so much. Guess it's kind of a fresh chart. IPO, and it got some crazy momentum. We had a nice swing on it. Lack not lacking. I like to hear that. Lack not lacking. This is a lithium mine stock, which is kind of a it's kind of a hedge against a market crash because this one tends to like to run during market crashes a little bit. 2022 outperformed the market. Can't believe this was 30 bucks a share. 40 bucks a share back here. It's pretty crazy. So I do have a swing on this one at 281. Just speculative, but it has held a base up really nicely for, again, a couple of years. So there's a chance that this thing can break out. Nice little trend break. It's getting really tight. It's already had earnings. So we don't have to worry about the earnings. So we'll see if this can push back up. They're still really early in operations. But it is a lithium mine. Kind of a hot sector, and I think it's going to be heating up again. Oh, my Lulu's up now. Nice. Limon. Looking okay. Nice trend break. Beautiful trend break. Super oversold stock. A lot of worries with this China news, China tariffs, and all this stuff. I think I really think Trump is about to make a deal with China. He just said something about China the other day. Something about the allowing students to come over, and he wants to make a deal. He's the best at making deals. He's gonna make a deal. If they don't make a deal, they're gonna have a deal. Something like that. But pretty nice looking trend breakout. Super oversold stock. Oh, my Cracker Barrel's up now. Cracker Barrel. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Trend break on Cracker Barrel. Got the Trump pump. That line looks bad. Looks good on the 2-hour. NBY looking good. So the rule is if Trump talks about something, especially if he's negative about it, that's where you buy. Because we've seen again and again, he'll say something bad about it, the stock goes down, the next couple days he's pumping it right back up. With Intel, that's what we do with Intel. He said the CEO should be fired, he should resign, he's got ties to China. And the next thing you know, the government's buying Intel at $20 a share, and now Trump loves Intel. And he took it all back. Took it all back. It's a great CEO. We get along very well. Let's check up on Coinbase here. Coinbase has been a nice mover. Obviously tied to Bitcoin pretty heavily. Had some really nice trades on it. It does seem like it's time to buy. Breaking out of this trend line. What I don't like, it kind of depends on Bitcoin. But just kind of another way to play Bitcoin. I'll take a swing here on it, see how we do. Does look kind of nice. I like the trend break. I like that MACD is about to go green. And I do think Bitcoin has a chance to continue higher. Nobody really knows. Another interesting one is the vaccine companies like Pfizer, Moderna. These things are pretty beaten down too. And really, I mean, Pfizer's back to these 2013 levels, 2012 levels. way before COVID even happened. So COVID's not even a factor now, as far as I can tell. See you, Scotty. You have a good one. So it actually might not be a terrible place to buy some vaccine companies. I know RFK was saying something about removing COVID from, or the vaccine for COVID from some, I don't know, disallowing the use of it. Could be bad. But again, this thing is way below COVID levels. So, does it even matter? Does it even matter? What happens if there's another virus going around? This is going to shoot right back up. We're kind of due for one. I don't know. Nike looking good. Kind of holding in a channel. Pretty clean bottom trend line. Seems to be struggling around 80 bucks. Holy cow, look at Neo. Wow. Well, we were calling out this flag breakout right over here. And that thing ripped. I should probably sell my Neo, huh? Yeah, let me just sell it. This Cracker Barrel. Pretty crazy. So that's the flag breakout. Pretty incredible flag breakout. So Nia's doing a run up into the earnings. Earnings is coming up, and it's probably going to dump on earnings, would be my guess. This is Chinese Rivian. So earnings on the 2nd. All right, Lulu's looking a lot better now. We've been building a Lulu position. Of course, it's going to chop around. Probably one of the biggest opportunities right now for the swing into the end of the year. I'll probably buy some Pfizer too once it pulls back some more. Looks like it's going to dip. Did a little double top fake out move. Hopefully it comes back around 24. Try to get some around there. RFK is going to pump it eventually. He's probably going to dump it and then pump it. Man, Pfizer had a crazy run up in the 90s. They did Zoloft in the 90s. Something for AIDS. Viagra. Bunch of stuff in the 90s. Jeez. It's crazy. And then there was a dot-com crash. So it crashed with the dot-com crash. All right, we're going to call it there. Got a couple of shorts on, several swings. Lulu's the main one. But got to get going. So good luck, everyone. Put some updates in the Discord later. And we'll be back tomorrow.